I hate $20,000 in one go. You need to focus on keeping clients.
Welcome to the Secrets of the Online Coach channel. Lynn and we're going to dive into the topics and the strategies to build your online movement. This is not for the faint-hearted, especially this topic that we're just about to go into, and in particular, not as the quick money-making tactic. This is to grow your legacy. So this episode today that we're just about to dive into, making $2,000 a week is better than making $20,000 a week. Interesting.
Very interesting. Very clickbaity, Karen. Very clickbaity. We're testing out our headlines here to see how much attention we can get.
And what do you mean by that, Lynn?
Well, it means this. It's slow and steady growth is always a lot better, more often than not, than quick growth. And if you were to ask me, hey, do I want to onboard 100 new clients today, or would you like a steady stream of 10 new clients every single week for the next 10 weeks, or would you like 100 clients today? My preference to that would be I want the slow and steady growth. And the reason is, and I wanted to start out, before we started this show, we're like, what is the topic? And it's a very, very important topic, especially if you want to build long-term growth. If you want to be in the game for the next decade, this is the thought process that you must adopt. And it's very similar to getting in shape, Kerry. This is the analogy, and I love talking about this because you and I both know, like, people that want to get into shape quickly very rarely succeed. They very rarely succeed. And people that want to make money quickly very rarely succeed. And today's topic is this core principle of slow and steady will always win the race. Now, it doesn't sound exciting. And we're not here to excite you. We're here to give you the truth. And the truth is, just like how difficult and how long and how tedious it is to get into shape, for a male to get under 10%, squat 180 kilos plus, the long and tedious process will get you there. Whereas, and we know that. We know that as human beings. We know that as trainers. We know that as coaches. And it's so funny, and I see this a lot of the times. So many coaches buy into the quick, get rich quick fanatics, and then they get screwed over and then they complain. And it's very, very similar. I see the parallels very similar to that of clients buying a get slim quick, not a get rich quick, but they buy a get slim quick. They go on, they get some sort of results, but then they crash. And I find it very interesting. What about you? What about you, Kez?
I think what I find interesting is that everybody wants the result of the $20,000 per week. But the reality of the skill that it requires to consistently make that money is something that people aren't willing to build, such as the skill of the squat, to be able to squat heavy, to be able to get those big numbers. You can't fail the process, because if you fail the process, you can't get the result. So perhaps you could make it once, right? Like I remember once when I fluked my first PB and then I couldn't get back there again.
What was your PB? What was
I remember it was 70 kilos. I don't know what that is in pounds,
but
you
were weighing like 45 at the time. So that's very, very good. And then it took you ages to get back there, right?
Yeah. And I think the mentality that I had was out of frustration that I knew I didn't have the process of getting myself to that squat. But I fluked it at the time with my energy or with my pre-workout, whatever it was. I got it once. But $20,000 a week to me represents the skill and the process
Yeah.
that you develop.
Yeah. And just adding to that, though, don't get me wrong, because there are plenty of people that are making $20,000 a week that are on the elite side. And when I look at this, I go, I'm not talking about $20,000 recurring. I love $20,000 recurring. I hate $20,000 in one go when you make money quickly, and then next week you're got nothing. This is the difference. This is if it's recurring, it's brilliant, and we'll talk about that, because a lot of business gurus will talk about how they got X result. You know, their client made $10,000 of sales in a week, and I go, when I first started out, I used to see that as well. Old school tactic to get clients, right? Show results, blow it, hyperinflate it. People are like, oh my God, how? And it's really funny, because when I look back and I look at, just have a look around at anyone's clients and start to see, are they still in business? And is their business growing? Has it grown since you last saw that result? And 9.9 times out of 10, the answer is no. Very more commonly enough, that person, that business guru, whoever they promoted, ends up starting their own business, teaching other personal trainers how they got their one hit wonder result. And it's really fascinating to me. It's really, really fascinating. I know we're going to go off topic, and I'm sure we'll be happy to slander business coaches, etc., a little bit later on. But I think there's the first thing that I want to talk about. You need to focus on keeping clients and recurring clients. And too many businesses focus on getting clients, marketing, making those big sales. It's like a big explosion, Kerry. You're like, oh my God, you made those sales. And it's like, holy fuck. To us, when our clients make sales, it's like, welcome to the ring, brother. Like, and so this idea, I think this is really good, because I had a conversation with one of our clients, Kitty, the other day, and she brought in 200 people into a 30-day challenge. They paid $149 each. She made a shit ton of money on the front end. And she's like, Lynn, I won't do that again. That was not worth my time. It was not worth the stress. It was not worth the pressure. I would have rathered 40 clients sign up month on month than to make the quick buck.
Can you go into detail a little bit about that?
Yeah. So we've been working with Kitty for, God, how long now? It feels like eternity, right? It feels like we're glued to Kitty and Craig. But I think it was August 2017. So what is it now? It's March. Let's say 18 months. Mm-hmm. And so as I look back at their journey, and I'm sure we'll get them on and they'll have a chat about their journey, but as I look back, I go, they started out, they made 5,000 in their first month, 7,000, 11,000, 15,000, 27,000. And then it went back a bit for a moment in time until we made a few tweaks. More recently, they just passed 170,000 a month. Which is incredible. But then last month, I told them to launch a 30-day challenge. I said, hey, launch a 30-day challenge and make it paid. Why? Because they had developed such a big ecosystem of all these people. And they're the most expensive online coaches ever. Like, their program isn't cheap. Their program's amazing. It's life-changing. Kerry, you've been through her program. You can vouch for it.
Definitely life-changing. And I vouch for that.
And what speaking, what did it do for you? Just give people a bit of a insight and a bit of a shout out to Kitty Blomfield.
I reached out to Kitty myself, and prior to meeting her, we'd already been working with a lot of fitness coaches and a lot of nutritional specialists. And at the time, I was a vegan, and I was experiencing a lot of...
You're vegan.
I know. Let's leave that topic for another day. And I experienced a lot of hormonal issues, a lot of adrenal fatigue, all of those types of symptoms. And I reached out to Kitty because there was something very, very special about her, with her integrity, with her value in her program that she provided. And she healed my hormones. She gave me my period back. It was absolutely amazing. So, and she got me freaking strong. Like that was incredible.
It's really funny. Because when I look back at it, I remember you going through your vegan journey, which meant I went through a vegan journey just as a byproduct, not because I wanted to, but because that's what you do when you're in love, right? Don't know if I'd do it now. No, I'd definitely do it now. But just going back, I look back at that and I was like, you were lean. We look back at your photos and we're like, holy shit, you were so lean. And you don't even know how lean you were. You were lean, you're fit, you're strong, you're slim, but you're weak, frail, right? You're like, I call you sticks. And so you reached out to Kitty, and Kitty's an actual expert. Kitty and Craig they're an expert. They help women win at life. What does that mean? It means they've got a methodology that they believe in, get women strong and get them eating real fucking food, as she'll say, right? And so furthermore to this, Kerry joined a program, got amazing results, got her period back. Kerry, you'd lost your period for what, 6 to 12 months?
It was 2 years, actually.
It was 2 years. I didn't even know. Felt like 6 to 12 months. Anyway, we'll talk about how you lost your period and all of that on another episode. But the point of this conversation is to say, when slow growth is always better than quick growth, and slow growth allows you to build. Slow growth allows you the headspace to not knock yourself out of the game. Slow growth, it's like you setting foot. If you've never deadlifted before, or you've never squatted before in your life, you go in, you get comfortable with 60 kilos, and then someone loads 180 kilos on your back, and you're at a competition, and you're like, I want to hit the world record, and it's like, it's not going to end well. And so we look at this, and I want to share this to the guys to add some value here. But I go, there's 2 metrics that I got every coach to track. And how much does it cost you to acquire a new customer, a new client? How much money are you spending? This is in marketing. And I look at delivery. What is the lifetime value of that customer? Okay. So I want to give you a perfect example of this. If you have a client and they sign on for 12 weeks, how long can you keep a client? Now, for most online coaches, it's probably 2 to 3 weeks before someone starts to drop off. It's 4 to 5 weeks. It's 6, 7 weeks. My goal is to go, how do I build raving fans such that they stay with me for life? If I get a client, if I get a customer, I want to continue to serve them over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I want to talk about ecosystems, because when you talk about ecosystems, Kerry, for some people, they might start out with a lifetime value of $300. That means on average, if a new client comes and walks through my door to want to work with me, they're going to pay me $300. This could equate to 3 months. Right? They stay on for 3 months. That's not bad. That's, for an online coach, that is fucking phenomenal. Like, as an online PT, when I first started out, it was like 4 weeks. Cool in, I'm done with the program, yada da. And here's the big kicker. The goal is to build systems, infrastructure, processes, to take this $300 and go, how can I turn this from $300 to $350 next week? What do I have to do? What do I have to do with my onboarding? What do I have to do with my coaching? What do I have to do with my community? What do I have to do with my certainty? What do I have to do with information, clarity, challenges, connection inside of that community? And so if I look back to the journey, you then keep improving this lifetime value. And at one point, if you keep doing this month on month on month on month on month, You'll turn this $3,000 into a $2,500 lifetime value, but your product, the product's going to be completely different. So your $300 product that you sold is going to be completely different to the $2,500 product that you learnt and you built because you had steady growth. You reflected and you said, okay, well, shit, I'm losing clients because number one, they're not checking in. I'm starting to realize that shit, they need an onboarding call. They need to download this app and log their stuff within the first 7 days because the people that don't, I lose. They need to check into the Facebook group, so I need to connect them somewhere with a lieutenant and get them engaged. And so you develop these processes, but this takes time. And if every single month you can improve that, then you win.
And I want to add to that as well. Yeah. So, and I don't know whether this flows into a secret, but
there's so many.
I'm sure there are a lot of secrets. It's a lot cheaper for you to keep a client than for you to acquire a client.
For sure.
And a lot of people focus a lot on the front end to acquire more clients, to make more money. And when you're thinking about going from $2,000 to $20,000, that value in the extension of the lifetime of your existing clients is going to get you there faster than trying to drive more clients to drop off faster.
Correct. So all the gurus and everything that you see on Facebook seems to be all around client acquisition. So here's what happens, right? I'm going to show you how to use ManyChat to get leads, to get new clients. So you go and use ManyChat to get clients, only to have them come in and then leave after 2-3 weeks. And let's say you get 100 because you're that person that wants the 20 grand in that week. Yeah, I'm going to get 100. And then guess what happens? 60 of them leave. Because this is the practicality of being a coach, and this is you leading the movement. This isn't you selling Louis Vuitton wallets or you selling an iPad or you selling a product. This is you selling a service. And so what happens if you get 100 people through, 60 of them leave, you're going to think you're a bit of a loser. You're going to go, I can't do this. People leave. You get a bad rap. People give you bad feedback. And then you go into this loop of negative self-talk. I'm not good enough. Who am I? Negativity and cynicism comes up. This doesn't work. And it's like, great, you just got yourself under the bar for the first time. You're squatting your PB. You're in unknown territory, buddy. And this is where most coaches fail. And because they don't read the data. They don't read the data and they don't improve. They don't learn anything from the mistakes they made or from the obstacles that they faced. And so every single client that you get through, there is a lesson for you to learn to build a better experience, to get better results, to build clarity, to get more engagement, such that you can, and how you measure how well you're doing is lifetime value. That's the measurement. These are the actions, that's the measurement. So if you actually look at your lifetime, for all of you, most PTs, I ran an ad yesterday, and hopefully if you're watching this, you'll see the ad, said most PTs don't know how to track these two metrics in business. It's like not knowing your calories, and it's like not knowing how strong you are. You know what I mean? It's just never going to work out well. And they don't know lifetime value. And if they don't know lifetime value, how can they ever do the things to improve lifetime value, to quantify whether or not it was effective? How do they know what to do with onboarding? How do they not know what to do with community? How do they know what to do with their team and their peoples when they build teams, or virtual assistants, or sending out that first email, or getting a chatbot in? How do they know what works? How is that measured? And because they don't know what works, they assume that nothing works. This whole thing doesn't work. And it's really funny because luckily for me, I remember you, when you worked at Telstra in 2014, and I ran my first 28-day challenge for men, I asked you to spreadsheet everything for me. I was like, hey, honey, can you create a spreadsheet? Because I didn't know what spreadsheets were. I was like, can you create a spreadsheet I've got 112 people in this challenge that I ran. It was a paid challenge. And I had only upsold 27 people. And I just wanted to figure out what happened. I just wanted to look back and go, what can I do better next time? Did everyone engage? Did everyone post? How can I get more people to post? How can I get, what's happening here? I'm getting a lot of data. It's just I'm reading it. Yet many times before that, I used to run 7-day challenges and make a shit ton of money. I ran a 30-day challenge. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have at least 70 new clients. I got 27. I was bummed. But then I learned how to read data. And there's only 2 sets of data that you need to read. Cost per acquisition. How much does it cost you to get a client? How much does this client pay you in total? And then you ask yourself this question, how do I increase that number so that they stay on longer? And then how do I decrease cost per acquisition? So, and it's a game of 1%. Like, I know it sounds ironic because we're the 1%, but it's a game of 1%. If every single day you can increase your cost per acquisition, increase your lifetime value by 1%, build something, put a system in, put a process in, put something in, 1%, it adds up. And then if you can decrease your cost per acquisition by 1%, you suddenly take something that isn't profitable, it's not making you money, and then over a span of a month, it's like that. And then you're having fun.
I want to add something to that. When I hear you talk about that, I think that personal trainers are in a really great foundational position to learn about business, because there are so many analogies that when I first started training, that training taught me about tracking progress and measuring data. Because I remember for 3 years before meeting Kitty, I didn't track anything, measure anything, nor did I understand my progress. And only until I started putting numbers on a piece of paper, understanding how to track my food, understanding how to track my numbers at the gym, that is when I can understand either there's a breaking point to my progress, and how do I overcome that breaking point. Otherwise, I'm working with my feelings. 100%. This doesn't work.
100%.
Nothing works.
I agree. And I think here's why I think I've done so well. Because I've taken things that I would apply when I was a personal trainer, strength coach. I would take body composition measurements, training with Recomposer. I did train on 2 particular variables. I said, number 1, how many calories am I eating every single week? What are my macros? Track it. And most people don't want to track it because most people don't. And I go, I want to track it. And how strong am I getting? What's my deadlift? What's my deadlift? What's my squat? What's my bench press? How strong am I getting every single week? What's my 1RM? And is that progressively increasing over the span of a month? Or is it decreasing? Or is it staying the same? And so those 2 variables were my North Compass, right? And you have your North Compass depending on what style of training you believe in. As a strength athlete, that's what I did. And so it just allowed me to put in the repetitions every single day and week, the boring shit, to improve. And so I took this principle and I said, because the first time I ran an online business, I was like, fuck, I've just sold like 10 people. 4 of them haven't even responded to my email that I sent them. 2 of them have joined the group. What the fuck's happening with that? And I would freak out and I'd operate in feelings. And then it turns out that 4 of them wanted a refund 2 weeks later. This is the very first time, true story. I was like, oh my God, because I'd already spent the money. I was like, oh, I can't give a refund, fuck. So then I had to sell more to then refund. But when I first started out, it was all feelings. It was like, oh my God, this whole thing doesn't work. I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know how to improve my systems. I don't know how to make coaching better. I don't know how to create these processes and these systems. And it's like, you have to just read the data and you have to measure the data first. And if you don't, then you never know what to fix. Once you read the data, everything becomes easy. Once you know how much you're spending, like this is cost per acquisition. How much did I spend on ads? How many leads did I get? Okay, great. How many applications did I get? Okay, cool. From those applications that I got, how many did I actually have a conversation with? All right, sweet. From the people I had a conversation with, how many actually bought? And no one wants to track that because it means that they have to keep accountable to something. And everyone hates accountability. Now, you and I hate accountability because we believe that we're being imprisoned. But yet accountability is the only thing that will progressively grow us.
That's true.
And what's really funny, because I always think back to this really baffles me. When you're in grade 5, when you're a primary school kid, grade 3, grade 4, grade 5, what's the success rate of passing? Like 99.8%. There's always like one dud that doesn't make it. But like 100 kids go through grade 5, 99 move through to grade 6. And it's simply because they have a container, they have rules, they have a set rules, they have set discipline, and there's a deadline. And then they all act in accordance to work together. And there's this pressure point of, there's this status of passing and not passing. Oh shit, I have to pass because I got to keep up with these kids. And everyone pulls each other along. Then you hit uni, or some of you may have dropped out. And we enter this world of freedom where you lose discipline, accountability, structure, that environment. And suddenly, what's the success rate of entrepreneurs making it online? 0%, 0.1%. And it really baffles me because it's like the secret to success and growth is accountability, deadlines, understanding and measuring and tracking, and then consistently improving. But nobody wants to hear that. You know, everyone wants to buy Tai Lopez's course, you know, the 6 steps to 67. And the dude's amazing. His knowledge is amazing. I'm not for or against. I think he's extremely smart. I think, you know, there's amazing information, and I'm sure he's got some things that he can teach you. But if you don't have the foundation set, which is accountability, discipline, hard work, and knowing your numbers and reading the data, you will never win. Like, you'll always operate in the feelings. And this was me for so long as well. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not some magical data reader now. Like, shit, as a personal trainer in the gym, I didn't even have my next day organized. Like, it's Saturday today. I would randomly message people at 8 p.m. tonight going, hey, you want to train tomorrow at 1? I feel like going into the gym. You know, and for me, that's just a personal training thing when you can run your own schedule. So I had to build this because this was what I needed to succeed.
We secretly keep our clients accountable with their weekly temples, hey?
Yeah.
They think they're updating us, but it's their own accountability.
Yeah, it's accountability to go, what did you say you were going to do this week? Okay, did you do it? Why not? What got in the way? Just your own reflections. Okay, great. What stories, obstacles, or rules did you have that stopped you from doing the thing? Okay, cool. So what's going to happen next time that these stories come up? And here's the reality, and everyone's going to say, but like, Lynn, I'm different. Shit comes up in the way I can't get shit done. And I go, I'm just going to be black or white here, because let's not play in the gray area. Black or white, did you get it done? Yes or no? I don't want to know why. I just want to know why you didn't get it done. And then I asked this question, are you committed to getting it done next week? Okay, great. And then this next question says, what if an obstacle comes up? What are you going to do to mitigate? What are you going to do What story are you going to tell yourself? And it becomes easy because you give people the awareness that shit, they have a decision, they have a choice to get shit done. And I think for a lot of PTs, PTs don't have a business degree. They don't have an accounting degree. I didn't have an accounting degree. You're funnily enough an accountant, but if there are two business metrics that you need to track, it's cost per acquisition, it's lifetime value. Because you will tell your clients, hey, I want you to track your training and I want you to track your macros. And then you get baffled at them when they don't know how to fucking do it. And you're like, but it's so easy. It's the same thing. We're just going, well, this is really easy now. But if you don't do this, you'll never be successful in business. Just like your client, if they don't track their training, they don't track their macros, they'll never be successful in body composition at a maximum level. I'm not talking at, well, and I know we're going to get some smart ass fit pro go, but Lynn, you can flexible diet. And I go, yes, amazing. Good stuff. And a lot of you can build a good business, make $100,000 and not know your numbers. That's what I did in the gym, but you'll never ever be fucking successful. I'm talking multi-millions. I'm talking beat elite top. If you want to be average, keep doing what you're doing. Like, keep doing what you're doing. And I think the whole point of the 1% is fucking the 1%, which we should have called it 0.1% because, you know, that's what it requires. But I'm trying to push you to see things a little bit differently so that you can rise to the top.
And wrapping that container, I think that is truly the difference between the $2,000 and the $20,000. And if you have systems behind creating $2,000 reoccurring versus your one-hit wonder of $20,000, where you don't have your systems and your delivery to back it up, that's not success.
Yeah. It's really funny. Just to wrap this up, it's not about how much money you make today. It's what will you accumulate over the next 5 decades. And I think a lot of trainers are very short-sighted. They go, okay, cool. They close 5 deals at $2,000 today. And we see that all the time. And I go, I want to see you. I don't care, because I want to see you this time next year. Show me. Don't tell me. If you look at us, you know, if we started coaching in 2017, January was when Legacy started, only to build the 1% in 2018. And you know, if we're in 2019, we're at a particular different space and we're up for global expansion now and scale. But a lot of the times, the reasons why we didn't do a lot of these podcasts, this marketing, was because we were looking internally and going, lifetime value, cost per acquisition. That's the only 2 metrics that matter to me right now, fundamentally, to start a business. This stuff now, this then becomes global scale on top of the foundations, only adding fuel to the fire. But if there's no fire, I don't know how to get clients, and shit, I'm not keeping clients. Too many people are focusing on looking good on social media, posting out content when they don't have their fire lit, and then they're adding fuel to like nothing. So if you add fuel to nothing, you get nothing. Like, you just get a whole bunch of dirty fuel on the ground. But if you have a fire lit, you've got a cost per acquisition, you've got lifetime value, you have a movement, you're looking at improving things 1%, and then you add fuel to it, that's when it becomes fun. And I say this to a lot of people. I say, look at the people that have grown over the last decade, not the last month. I come in for 6 months. You know, how sucky would it be for you to make a business and then 6 months later, it doesn't work anymore? You know what I mean? So I think just to wrap that up, Kez, I think there's a few good points. Slow and steady growth will always win the race. Fast growth will cripple you. Not cripple you externally, it will cripple you internally. Okay, if you're not ready for it. And that there are 2 numbers that you must keep track of, which is cost per acquisition and lifetime value. Those are your North Stars. Those are your macros and your strength 1RMs. If we're looking in body composition terms, that you need to keep track of every single week. But I think that's a wrap. What do you think?
Nailed it.
There's probably about 7
I'm going to put in a DJ request for next time. Actually, I think this would be something that would be highly requested. And I think for me, seeing your journey over the last 18 months, over the last 5 years, I know that a lot of people would really, really appreciate you talking about the journey of you creating legacy and where that started from humbly and what that's grown into for you with the 1%. Yeah. So I think that's what we're going to follow up with the next episode. If you guys would love to see that, please comment down below, because I think it would really help you guys to see a timeline journey rather than a point in time journey of what we're talking about now.
Yeah.
And why we feel like we are the experts to present those two metrics versus you understanding a whole layer upon layer upon layer of Lynn's growth, my growth, our team's growth.
For sure. And I think there's a few things to consider. If you go into this and you want to be a successful online coach or business owner, just grow from your obstacles and your problems and your mistakes. Now that sounds very cliche. On a more practical level, whatever obstacle that you're facing, look at it and reflect on it and ask yourself, what could you have done better to get over that hump, or what do you need to do? If you have a lot of clients leaving, that's telling you something. You can either sit down and cry and go, oh, this doesn't work, which will then ensure that it's survival of the fittest. You won't actually succeed, right? Because this is how the world operates. It's almost survival of the fittest. The cream rises to the top. Or you can go, great, that's a really good lesson. That hurts. That was a good slap in the face. I need to fix X, Y, and Z here. And I think that's, if you look at my journey, Kerry, and, like I look back on YouTube and Vimeo back to 2014, 13 when I started, and I cringe, but I'm also very appreciative and grateful, because it's like, holy shit, I have grown. And holy shit, this message that we're sharing here to be 1% better, I have lived. And holy shit, within the span of 5 years, this is what can happen. Oh, fuck. And then, you look over the last 18 months and this is what happens. And then we'll look at the next 3 months and it just becomes faster and faster and faster because it compounds. And the first 3 years were very slow, but then we're starting to see that compound effect move into play. So I'll be more than happy to take back, my Victoria's Secrets day when I had my Victoria's Secrets program, talk about, the guy that was there, the thoughts, wanting to make money, because let's be real, everybody that starts an online business is thinking about the cash. I was thinking about the cash. I thought about funnels. I thought about automation. I thought about writing sales letters. I thought about doing VSLs. Fuck, I even did a VSL, like miking it with PowerPoint presentation, only to go, what am I doing? What the fuck am I doing?
All right, team, we're going to wrap this up. If you have questions for Lynn about his journey over the last 5 years, comment down below. I'm going to set up the session of me interviewing him and grilling him into his journey. And hope you have a wonderful weekend.
We're going to get a nice grilling. All right. Have a wonderful day, night, wherever you're listening or watching this from. And we'll see you next time.
Yesterday wasn't easy. I had to say goodbye to